My name is Ryan. On the surface, I'm just another guy in a city full of faces that don't matter. I work as a graphic designer, hours spent in front of glowing screens, crafting vibrant worlds for clients, while my own world feels muted and ordinary. People see me as quiet, a little reserved, practical, but they don't know the secret I carry, one that has consumed me in ways I never expected. It all started innocently enough, a dare in my own apartment. Emma, my girlfriend of 2 years, had left a dress lying on the couch, a playful slip of a silk number that shimmered in the evening light. "Try it on," I had whispered to myself, laughing nervously. Just for fun. It was a joke at first, a silly experiment to see what it felt like, but the sensation was electric, addictive. The fabric clung to my skin, soft and thrilling, as though I was stepping into another life entirely. I lived alone when Emma was at work, and those evenings became my sanctuary. I would slip into her clothes, experiment with makeup, and marvel at the reflection staring back at me. It wasn't just curiosity anymore, it was a hunger I couldn't ignore. The Alex the world knew, the quiet, careful designer, faded, replaced by someone daring, vulnerable, and alive in ways I had never experienced. Our apartment is small, cozy, with just enough room for both of us, without feeling crowded. The living room holds her favorite books, the scent of her perfume lingering faintly in the air, and the soft glow of lamps casting shadows on the walls. Every object reminds me of her, of the life I share, and of the dangerous thrill of the secret I hide. The closet where her dresses hang has become my portal into a hidden world, a place where I am both invisible and exposed. Emma is brilliant, fiery, and often exasperating in ways I secretly adore. She has a way of seeing through people, of noticing details I would rather keep hidden. That's part of the reason my secret is so intoxicating. I am exploring something so completely forbidden to the person who knows me best. The thought that she could walk in at any moment sends a shiver down my spine, yet the risk only amplifies the allure. Tonight is one of those evenings. Emma has gone to her sister's house, leaving me with hours of solitude, and the apartment feels charged with anticipation. I tiptoe to the bedroom, heart hammering, and open the closet. My fingers brush against the soft fabrics, lingering on a deep crimson dress, its silk smooth and inviting. The thrill of choosing which outfit to wear is like selecting a key to another universe, each dress unlocking a version of myself I can barely recognize. I start the ritual slowly. The feeling of removing my everyday clothes is liberating, almost ritualistic. As I slip into the dress, the silk hugs my frame in a way that is both exhilarating and intimate. I run my fingers along the seams, savoring the sensation. The transformation is not just physical, it's emotional. Each stroke of foundation, every brush of mascara, is a tiny act of rebellion and self-discovery. My reflection in the mirror becomes someone new, someone bold and beautiful, someone I've kept hidden even from myself. The makeup is tricky at first. My hands tremble slightly as I outline my eyes, blush my cheeks, and carefully trace the curve of my lips with a shade of rose that makes me feel daring. I tilt my head, examining every angle, adjusting the wig to fall just right over my shoulders. The mirror reflects not just my face, but my hesitation, my excitement, and the thrill of inhabiting this forbidden persona. I practice walking, testing the rhythm of heels against the floor. It's awkward at first, each step a reminder that this is unfamiliar territory, but soon the movement feels natural, almost intoxicating. I laugh softly at the sound of my own voice, higher pitched than normal, delicate and soft. I feel more alive than I have in years, yet every sense is heightened by the fear of discovery. The duality of my existence, the quiet, ordinary Ryan and this daring, hidden persona, makes my pulse race. I glance around the apartment, imagining Emma returning unexpectedly. The thought both terrifies and excites me. Every shadow, every creak in the floorboards, every flicker of light through the curtains reminds me that my secret is fragile, suspended between exhilaration and potential catastrophe. And yet, I can't stop. The thrill, The forbidden freedom, the transformation, it has a hold on me that I cannot resist. Tonight, I realize, is not just about fun. It's about stepping into a life I've never allowed myself to fully embrace. It's about exploring the boundaries of desire, identity, and secrecy. The journey ahead is uncertain, thrilling, and dangerous, and I know that once I take this first step, there's no going back to the ordinary life waiting on the other side. The apartment is quiet, but the silence is electrifying. I stand in front of the mirror, adjusting the crimson dress, smoothing the silk over my chest and hips. The reflection staring back at me is not quite Ryan, not the Ryan everyone knows, the reserved, quiet graphic designer. This is someone bolder, more daring, vulnerable, yet alive in a way I've never allowed myself to feel before. I take a deep breath and begin the makeup ritual. Each stroke of foundation is like a shield, covering the ordinary me and revealing the hidden persona underneath. Eyeliner traces my eyelids with precision, mascara thickens my lashes, and blush colors my cheeks with a warmth that wasn't there before. When I carefully outline my lips with rose-colored lipstick, I feel a thrill unlike anything else, delicate, feminine, and powerful all at once. Standing in the heels is another revelation. They're high, delicate, almost precarious, but they transform the way I carry myself. My hips sway differently, my posture shifts, and the sound of the heels clicking against the hardwood echoes through the apartment like a declaration. I walk, turn, and pivot, experimenting with gestures and movements, marveling at how the body feels so different yet natural in this new form. Even with all this, fear lingers. Emma could return at any moment. Every sound, the distant hum of traffic, a creaking floorboard, the soft whisper of wind against the window, tightens the knot in my stomach. What if she comes back early? What if she sees me like this? And yet, the fear itself is thrilling, sharp, and intoxicating. It heightens every sensation, making the silk, the makeup, and the heels feel even more alive against my skin. I begin to explore the apartment differently, treating it as a stage. I sway in front of the mirror, laughing softly at the reflection, testing the persona, discovering nuances in my movement. My voice, when I speak aloud, takes on a softer, higher tone, delicate and almost unrecognizable. The sound is foreign and intoxicating, a reminder that I am not just playing dress-up. I am stepping into an entirely new way of existing. As I experiment with poses and gestures, I notice subtle changes in my emotions. Confidence blooms, intertwined with vulnerability. There's a thrill in the exposure, even if I'm the only one watching. The dress, the makeup, the wig, they're not just tools of transformation. They're symbols of an identity I've kept hidden, a side of myself I've longed to embrace but feared revealing. Suddenly, a sound startles me, a soft knock at the door. My heart leaps into my throat. I freeze, clutching the fabric of the dress to myself. Could it be Emma returning early? My pulse races as I tiptoe to the door, peering through the peephole. It's a delivery man with a package, mundane, but the tension lingers. Relief and exhilaration wash over me simultaneously. The world outside is intruding, reminding me that my secret is always fragile, always at risk. I return to the living room and take a moment to examine my reflection. The mirror shows a person I barely recognize, yet someone I cannot resist. The duality of my existence presses against me. Ordinary Ryan on one side, this daring, transformed persona on the other. One wants to hide, erase the evidence, retreat into safety. The other wants to stay, to explore, to revel in the thrill of being seen, even if it's only by my own eyes. Hours pass, yet the world outside remains absent. I experiment further, changing hairstyles, testing different angles, trying subtle expressions in the mirror. Each movement, each adjustment, amplifies the emotional tension. I'm alive, vulnerable, and completely immersed in the persona I've created. But the threat of exposure never fully leaves me. Every sound, footsteps, a car door slamming, a distant voice, tightens the knot in my stomach, reminding me that this freedom is temporary, fragile, and dangerous. As night deepens, I become more daring. I practice walking across the room, balancing perfectly in heels, feeling the sway of my hips and the soft rustle of the dress. I laugh softly, testing the persona, imagining Emma returning unexpectedly. The scenario excites me, even as fear sharpens my senses. The thrill of being caught, or almost caught, makes every moment feel heightened, urgent, and dangerously intoxicating. At some point, I notice a small imperfection, a strand of wig slightly out of place, a smudge of mascara under my eye. Panic flares briefly, but I correct it, learning patience and care in the process. The act of transforming, of becoming this persona, is meticulous, almost ritualistic. Each detail matters: the placement of the dress, the angle of my hair, the curve of my lips. It's a careful dance between vulnerability and power, secrecy and expression. I pause and glance around the apartment. Every object, the couch, the lamps, the faint scent of Emma's perfume, reminds me of her and of the risk I'm taking. The apartment, once ordinary, has transformed into a stage for this dual life, a place where my secret identity flourishes in private but teeters on the edge of exposure. The thrill of inhabiting this hidden persona is electric, but so is the fear. One wrong move could unravel everything. As the night stretches on, I settle into a strange rhythm. The careful steps of heels, the meticulous adjustment of the wig, the soft brush of fingers over makeup. Each motion is both deliberate and experimental, testing the limits of identity and self-expression. I whisper to myself, testing the voice, the tone, the persona. The reflection in the mirror feels almost alive, a companion in this secret world I have created. And then I notice something, a faint shadow near the window. My heart hammers. Could it be someone outside? A neighbor? A stranger? Panic spikes, sending adrenaline coursing through my veins. The thrill of the secret collides with the fear of discovery in a way that makes my pulse race. I clutch the dress, my fingers trembling slightly, as the duality of my life, ordinary Ryan and this new persona, feels more fragile and urgent than ever. For the first time, I realize that this secret life is no longer just about fun or curiosity. It has become a vital part of me, a thrilling, dangerous, and intoxicating expression of who I am. But it's also precarious, vulnerable, and at constant risk. The night stretches ahead, filled with possibility, danger, and the exhilarating uncertainty of living on the edge of exposure. The shadow outside the window isn't imaginary. My heart pounds as I step closer, heels clicking sharply on the floor. The figure is there, motionless, camera in hand, peering through the glass as though they've been waiting for this moment. Panic surges, twisting in my stomach, yet beneath it, a thrill runs through me. This is the ultimate risk. The secret I've nurtured in isolation is now exposed to a stranger. I glance toward the door, imagining Emma returning at any moment. The duality of my existence, the timid Ryan the world knows, and the daring persona I've created, clashes violently inside me. One part of me wants to retreat, shed the dress, erase the evidence, hide. The other part aches to stay, to face the danger, to revel in the audacity of being truly seen. As I edge closer to the window, my hand trembles, brushing against the smooth fabric of the dress. The reflection in the mirror catches me off guard, the two identities staring back at each other. I barely recognize the person I see. Bold, beautiful, and utterly vulnerable. The reflection seems alive, almost daring me to act, to embrace this persona fully despite the risk. Then comes the sound of keys in the lock.
Emma.
My pulse spikes. She enters, unaware of the stranger outside or the drama unfolding in our living room. I instinctively clutch the dress, the silk slipping under my fingers as I attempt to appear calm. My heels feel suddenly precarious, every step threatening to betray me. Emma's eyes widen as she scans the room, noticing the open closet and the subtle shimmer of silk draped over my form. "Ryan?" she asks, confusion and concern threading her voice. I can't meet her gaze, trapped between fear and exhilaration, my secret balancing on a knife's edge. The figure outside shifts, and the flash of a camera blinds me momentarily. My stomach drops. Someone is filming. My secret, my private world, is now no longer mine alone. Panic and shame collide with an unfamiliar thrill, being observed, exposed, yet alive in this daring, feminine persona. I stumble backward, nearly toppling over a chair. Emma gasps, alarmed, her voice sharp with concern. What's happening? Her hands hover uncertainly, ready to intervene or retreat. The room feels charged, each heartbeat amplified, each breath shallow and urgent. In desperation, I grab a nearby vase, holding it like a weapon, though the motion is more instinct than intent. The stranger outside retreats into the shadows, vanishing as quickly as they appeared. Relief floods me, but it's tinged with shame. Emma's gaze is fixed on me, confusion, fear, and the unspoken question of my secret etched into her face. I try to speak. Emma? My words falter, stuck in my throat. The dress, the heels, the makeup, they are now a confession without sound. She steps closer, her expression softening, but uncertainty lingers. Ryan, tell me, she whispers, her hand brushing against mine. The room feels impossibly small, shadows pressing in, reflecting the chaos of my mind. The mirror shows both selves, the ordinary Ryan and the daring persona that has dominated my private life. They coexist in tension, each pulling me in opposite directions, one toward safety, the other toward revelation and risk. The shadow outside returns, more deliberate this time. My heart races as I realize the danger is not over. The external threat collides with internal conflict, the risk of exposure, Emma's reaction, and my own desire to embrace this hidden identity. The thrill, once a private delight, has transformed into a perilous gamble. Emma steps closer, touching my arm gently. The warmth is grounding, yet terrifying. I know I must choose. Confess fully and risk everything, or retreat and maintain the facade, losing the persona I've nurtured for months. Every fiber of my being trembles under the weight of decision, the dress clinging to me like a second skin, heels biting into my feet. I take a shaky breath, feeling the tension surge through my body. The reflection in the mirror is a constant reminder of the duality I inhabit. One side is fragile, secret, yearning for acceptance. The other is bold, defiant, daring to exist despite the consequences. The moment hangs between us, electric and charged with uncertainty. Then the knock at the door, soft but deliberate, echoes through the apartment. My pulse leaps. Emma glances toward it, confusion and concern mixing in her eyes. I glance at her, panic-stricken, and realize there is no escape. The shadow outside, the knock at the door, the precarious balance of heels and dress, they all converge in a moment of unbearable tension. I clutch the fabric of the dress, heart racing, every instinct screaming to protect my secret. Emma steps closer, her hand reaching mine, seeking reassurance. The duality of my life, the mundane Ryan and the daring, exposed persona, faces its ultimate test. The choices I make now could redefine everything: trust, love, identity, and desire. And then, before I can react, the doorknob begins to turn. My breath catches. The figure outside remains a silent threat in my peripheral vision. Emma's gaze locks onto mine, filled with pleading uncertainty. I realize with a jolt, this is the point of no return. The door opens slowly. I freeze. My reflection in the mirror shows both fear and exhilaration. My secret, once thrilling and private, is now teetering on the brink of exposure. And I can only hope, praying, that Emma will understand, that she will see both sides of me, and that the daring, feminine persona I've embraced will not destroy everything I hold dear. The doorknob turns slowly, and my chest tightens. My reflection in the mirror stares back at me, two identities colliding: Ryan, the ordinary man, and the daring, feminine persona I've cultivated in secret. I clutch the silky fabric of the crimson dress, heels pinching my feet, mascara smudged from the adrenaline surging through my body. Emma steps closer, hesitant, her hand brushing against mine. Her eyes are wide, filled with confusion, concern, and a hint of something I can't quite read: suspicion, fear, maybe even curiosity. My mouth opens, then closes. The words I've rehearsed dissolve into trembling silence. A soft scrape at the window catches my attention. The stranger is back, camera in hand, their presence a silent threat looming outside. My pulse skyrockets. The secret I've nurtured, the persona I've explored in private, is now on the brink of exposure. Fear, exhilaration, and shame collide inside me, leaving me trembling. Emma's voice pierces the tension. "Ryan, please," she says softly yet urgent. "Tell me what's happening." I glance at my trembling hands, clutching the fabric of the dress, as though it can shield me from the truth. I want to flee, to tear the dress off and return to my ordinary life, but I can't. Not yet. The stranger shifts outside, camera flashing briefly. Panic surges. My secret is being recorded. The thrill, the liberation, the identity I've explored in solitude. All feels vulnerable, exposed. I stumble backward, heels threatening to betray me, and Emma gasps. Her eyes flick between me and the window, alarm and uncertainty intertwining. I can explain, I whisper, voice quivering. But I know words are not enough to undo the danger. The dress, the makeup, the heels, they are proof of a life that could shatter everything. Emma's gaze is fixed on me, searching, pleading for understanding I'm not sure I can provide. Time stretches. Each heartbeat echoes, every shadow and creak magnified. My dual identity, ordinary Ryan and this daring, exposed persona, faces its ultimate test. Do I reveal everything, risking rejection, or do I hide, protecting the secret but sacrificing the self I've come to embrace? The doorknob rattles again, deliberate. Emma steps closer, warmth and reassurance in her touch, yet tension lingers. Outside, the shadow waits, silent. A reminder that the world beyond these walls is watching. The thrill of transformation collides with the fear of exposure in a way that leaves me frozen. I glance at the mirror one last time, reflection trembling with uncertainty. The duality of my life, the mundane and the extraordinary, hangs in perfect, delicate balance. Emma's eyes search mine for answers, her hand still gently on my arm, while the threat outside looms. And then, the door swings open fully. My breath catches. The camera outside flashes again. Emma's expression shifts, shock, fear, and something else I cannot read. My hands clutch the dress tighter, heels digging into the floor. My heart races as I realize the precariousness of my secret. The reflection in the mirror stares back at me, bold and vulnerable, daring and exposed. The room is charged with tension. The stranger outside, Emma's gaze, my reflection, all converge in a single moment of unbearable uncertainty. The duality I've lived with, nurtured, and adored is on the edge of discovery. And I can only hope that the choices I make in the next moments will protect, or perhaps redefine, everything I hold dear.